What's going on YouTube? So the Toyota BZ4X was the brand's first dedicated electric vehicle. But evidently they got tired of the name being like your cat ran across the keyboard, since they have now shortened it to just the Toyota BZ for the 2026 refresh. That's what we're standing next to right now. And we want to know, is this the RAV4 EV that you've been waiting for? Let's find out. So just like the simplified name, Toyota has also simplified the overall exterior design of this new model. They've kind of cleaned it up and made it overall look a lot more classy. So you notice up here in the front, of course, as an electric product, most of this is going to be sealed off, but you do have a upper accent and then a lower part down there for ventilation. And then as we take a look at the lighting, it's got the newest signature with your kind of boomerang shaped daytime running light, the hammerhead front end design, and then separated in down below is going to be your projector LED headlight. Now overall, with the whole exterior of the vehicle, you're going to see a lot more body color finishes. So this is just going to kind of give the vehicle a lot more of a premium edge. It does look more like the Lexus RZ than it did before as well. Moving on to the wheels, you have 18 or 20-inch options, depending on if you choose the XLE or the limited trim. Those are the two trims that this is offered in for 2026. I like this design, really nice looking contrast finish. We have some aero inserts in between the spokes. Again, nice body color finishes all throughout the wheel arches. And then in terms of our mirrors, nice gloss black finish. You also have standard blind spot monitoring.
Now at the side of the BZ, the overall vehicle length is 184.6 inches, which is a pretty good length. It's actually a couple inches longer than something like a RAV4. Now as far as the design touches, we have just the body color roof. You can also get a blacked out roof if you prefer that more contrast look. And then heading around to the rear, this is changed a little bit less as compared to the front. However, I think it's overall a very classy look. Like Drew said, it is actually quite a bit similar to the Lexus RZ, which is certainly a good thing. So up here at the top, you will notice a very unique spoiler. It kind of juts out here on the sides. The rear window is raked at a very high angle, so you don't need a rear window wiper, according to Toyota. And then as far as the deck lid here, they have actually added an additional little spoiler, which I think looks quite nice. Now, as far as the taillight itself is concerned, it is going to be a full-length LED unit, so as you can see, all of the accents are LED through here. It does appear like your reverse light is also LED along with your turn signal. And then dropping down to this lower area, it's all going to be a matte black, and then we can go ahead and insert the tow rating down below. Now, when it comes to your safety systems, all of your active safety features will be standard equipment on the BZ. That will include things like adaptive cruise control. Additionally, if you choose the limited trim or above, that will throw in a few extra functionalities as well. But guys, that wraps up the exterior. Let's go ahead and check out the fully modernized interior. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we've reviewed over 2,000 cars at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from sound level readings to cargo measurements, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. All right, now let's check out the interior. Of course, you have a smart entry system as standard equipment. And then checking out the refreshed cabin of this model. I really like the look of this, especially in the two-tone configuration here on our limited trim level. Before we get into individual details, we'll start with our seats as always. We've got a two-tone finish. All models get soft tex leatherette. We've got the perforation kind of in the center there. And the seats themselves are heated and ventilated on the limited, and you have 10 ways of power adjustment along with memory seats. Let's climb on inside. Now climbing inside, let's look at the rest of the materials. So over here on the door trim, we've got a leatherette padding all through here, soft touch plastic along the top, and then across the upper part of the dashboard, Toyota is using some type of textured plastic. It is a soft touch material. I think it adds a little bit of visual interest to the design. I like that touch. Through the center section, we have a soft touch plastic in the gray finish, and then along the center part of our console here, it does not have any padding, but it does feel pretty soft, or excuse me, pretty solid, even on this prototype model. Now, speaking of prototype, since it is a prototype, we can't fire it up, but we will go ahead and kind of give you a tour of some of the main highlights. Of course, in typical BZ fashion, we have the gauge cluster display, which is pushed way up there. It kind of serves as both the gauge cluster and a head-up display. It's about 7 inches in terms of the overall size. Steering wheel-wise, we have that specific electric design that Toyota likes to use. Lots of buttons right through there. You also have rain-sensing wipers on the limited version. Now, as an electric vehicle, we have some different packaging versus gas models, of course. We'll check out the interior storage. When I get that piece of paper out of the way, we've got a pretty good size center console. Oh, actually it doubles in size. Look at that, secret storage. And then in front of that, you've got your 2 cup holders. We have new double wireless phone charging pads. So that's certainly nice. You can do both the passenger and the driver charging simultaneously, and a very large center pass-through with felt lining down at the bottom. Our shifter is an electronic style. You're just going to press down and twist over for drive and do the opposite in reverse. You have a 360 camera when you choose the limited trim. Now, as we move beyond that, that's like actually a joke there, an inadvertent joke. Beyond the shifter, we have our volume knob. You have a JBL sound system on the limited trim level. And as far as the display, what you're looking at is a large 14-inch screen. So this is really kind of borrowed almost directly from the Lexus lineup. So if it looks familiar, that's why. You can see we have the climate controls built in to the screen itself. They're going to be dual zone automatic. This screen is also going to have the new Toyota software, which will include some enhancements in terms of the overall performance and the layout, but it will still have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as you expect. Up top, we have the auto dimming mirror with the digital camera system, and then we also have a panoramic sunroof.
And let's go ahead and discuss the rear seat area in the BZ. Now, of course, it's just a refresh, so that doesn't change overall space figures. So we are sitting at about 35 inches of leg room and about 37 inches of headroom. Those are pretty decent figures for this segment of vehicle. And of course, I brought along the official Car Confections ruler. I'm 5'9" for reference. This seat is adjusted to Drew, who is 5'8", and let's see how much additional knee room we have. We have about 8 inches of knee room. That's quite good. And then my feet don't really have room to slide up underneath of the seat, but overall I'm pretty comfortable. The seats themselves do not recline. As far as the center armrest, we have 2 cup holders inside, a little storage cubby as well. I like the two-tone design. And then as far as the features are concerned, 2 USB-C ports. We also do have heated back seats here on the limited version. We additionally have rear vents as well. Now, as far as the door trim is concerned, it's going to be kind of a soft touch plastic on the upper part and leatherette through the center section. And then we have quite a bit of door storage. Now, walking up to the tailgate, of course, we have a power one. Once it opens up, we'll go ahead and take a look at the overall cargo capacity. So as far as this area is concerned, about 27 cubic feet of space behind the second row of seats. If you fold those seats down, that will give you about 57 cubic feet of cargo capacity. That is going to be less than something like a RAV4, for instance, so do keep that in mind, but it's not by a huge margin. The seats do fold 60-40 split, so you just reach up there to fold the seats down. It's not too bad, even for someone of my size. And, of course, this is a Car Confections review after all, so let's go ahead and get our cargo length, width, and height figures. So, let's talk about cargo length behind Drew's seating position. We are sitting at 74 inches of length. From behind the second row, 31 inches of length. 40 inches is our opening, and then as far as overall height, we are sitting at about 30 inches at that top point. However, do keep in mind it does slope back quite a bit, so you're only looking at about 16 inches of height when it comes to the rear of the cargo area. As far as load-in height, we're looking at about 29 inches. Underneath of the floor, there's a little bit of extra space. It looks to be good for things like a charge cable, and we also do have a household style outlet.
And now let's talk about those improvements to the powertrain setup of this BZ. So when they dropped those letters, they really made some big improvements overall. You're looking at as much as a 50% improvement in power and a 25% improvement in overall range. So obviously those are monumental in terms of the ownership experience with this model versus what it was before. Now, to get into some of the specifics here, the battery sizes have increased on all models. The XLE front-wheel drive, that comes with a smaller 57.7 kilowatt-hour battery pack. However, the other models come with the 74.7 kilowatt-hour battery pack. In terms of our horsepower, the front-wheel drive model is 221. That's up 20 horsepower. But what I was talking about with the power improvements is the all-wheel drive model. That used to be just about the same as the front-wheel drive, and now we're looking at 50% more power, 338 horsepower over top of that model. And 0 to 60 now is under 5 seconds according to Toyota. They're quoting 4.9 seconds. Now, as far as the ranges, each trim is going to be different. I'm not going to narrate all of them. I'll just put them on the screen right now. But again, you're looking at huge improvements of about 25% depending on which trim level we are looking at. And critically, when it comes time to charge, you also have new NACS, the North American Charging Standard plug, so you can charge at Tesla superchargers and whatnot. And the speed is going to be 10 to 80% in about 30 minutes.
And let's go ahead and talk about pricing and availability. Now, we don't have official 2026 pricing for the Toyota BZ. However, we can look at the 2025 prices and use that as a reference point. I'm estimating that prices will rise about $1,000, so $38,000 to $51,000 is what I'm looking at as an overall price range for this vehicle. Now, as far as availability, Toyota says the second half of 2025, so this actually should be available pretty soon, just depending on that verbiage right there. Now, if you're looking to buy a Toyota BZ or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. And guys, that wraps up our in-depth review of the refreshed 2026 Toyota BZ. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which we hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get the latest car reviews such as this, and you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. I promise you won't want to miss out. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.